This morning I've got the table saw out and made some cuts here. I'm gonna build an outdoor shelf unit. You could do a number of things on this thing. It's gonna have slats as its base. What I have is I have a bunch of boards that are gonna be the depth boards, height, and width, along with a few slats that are 1/2 inch to 5/8 thick that I'm going to use to complete the shelf. But I'm gonna need more of these, but I'm gonna put these together. And if I can get this whole thing up and together today, I'll put it online, and if someone wants to purchase it, they can purchase it, or I can build one similar to that. They can tell me what size they want. But I'm gonna build this example and maybe another example with a wire shelf. So just stay tuned for those. Should be seeing those real soon. And I'll take you guys along for this process as I go through it. One of the questions that I have for the process, which I'm gonna answer, see how much time it takes, is I have all these boards here. I need to run a sander across them to kind of smooth them out, take some of the stain off of them where they've been sitting out for a little while, make them look new. But also, I need to decide how involved the project should be. I have a trim router. I'm thinking about taking these and running the trim router and rounding off every single one of them. But it's a question of how long it takes. But for people who may eventually purchase some of these things, there's a lot of variations that could take place. It can make it more involved, make it more ornate. But you have to judge how much you're going to put into each one. Basically, you're going to spend 5 hours on something that makes you $5? Probably not. But that's where I'm at, trying to figure that sort of thing out. But I guess we'll see. These are the ones I just got done sanding, taking the trim router to and making, like, rounding off each side. I think they look a lot better because you can see the ones that aren't done yet, how rough they look. And these will look more like a board that always came that way instead of being ripped from a 2x8. So I'm gonna have to do these as well. I'm not quite sure if I'll do all the slats or not. Slats might be fine the way they are. Just run the sander across them. We'll see. I'm gonna finish all this stuff, then I'll put together the frame, and we'll catch up with you guys then. Put all the framework together. We have the sides braced, front brace a little bit higher because it's kind of serving as one of the slats. So whenever I put the slat in there, you can see there. So they'll be staggered across here like this. I have enough for the top. I'm gonna go ahead and do the top and brad nail that on. But everything else turned out pretty good. Everything looks pretty square so far. So there it is. There we are. I'm gonna go ahead and get those slats sanded, and I'll go ahead and brad nail those on and then show you the result. So I have all the slats on top. I took the router and kind of went along the edges here so it'd be rounded and try to go down the slats. I used my Dremel over there, or rotary tool I should say, because it's not a Dremel brand, to help with the slats because it got a little difficult, because if it's not exactly level, getting the router go from one to one because of the base plate up there on top of the router, it can be hard to go from one to the other. So I had some difficulty, so I had to go back with the rotary tool and pretty much got the issue resolved. Next time I'll have a better system in place, so I just skip through etching each one of the slats, and I'll just go to the rotary tool and probably just round it over with a sanding disc. I still have to put some on the bottom. That's what I'll do lastly. And then another project I have today is the metal grate over there. I gotta see if I can't get that thing cleaned up a little bit so we can either be painted or sealed or whatever I end up doing to it. I think that's gonna be a table as well. But this one's pretty much done, so I'm gonna leave it at this. If you wanna purchase this stuff, if you're local to me, you can. I'll put it up on the Zach's Tool Shop Facebook page. Otherwise, I think I'm gonna go have some lunch real quick, and then I'll make these slats.